Hello and welcome to this exciting lesson. In this lesson, you are going to learn on how you can configure line weights and line patterns in Revit. Now, this topic is very important for anyone who is using Revit. It doesn't matter the field where you are. Of course, you are going to configure your line weights and your line patterns according to the region or according to your office standards. Therefore, it's important that you pay attention and know how you can configure so that when you print your drawings, they will definitely come out the way you want them to be according to the standards. Okay. Now, one thing I want to mention is that, as I've said, it doesn't matter the field where you are. So make sure that you just watch from start to finish. And if you like what I'm doing on this channel, please make sure that you turn on the bell notification and also subscribe to this channel so that you motivate me to do more and more tutorials. Now, before I proceed, I also want to mention that if there's anyone who'd like to learn Revit architecture from start to finish on real projects, make sure that you check the links in the description. I've also a course for engineers like Revit for steel structures and also robust structural analysis. So just check the links in the description. You might be interested in. So without wasting time, let's get started in this tutorial. So as you can see from here, I just have different lines. You can see the colors, the line weights. I also have a wall. I want you to understand, how, these things of line weights, line styles can be configured in Revit if you're just using a 2D lines. As you can see, the first 7 lines, these are just, pure lines. They are not models. But the other one here, as you can see, it's a wall. So this is the 3D model with the windows and the doors. So I want you to understand on how to configure these lines and how you can change within the settings which line thickness you want to apply to a particular model element or to a particular line, as you are going to see in this lesson. So what I'm going to do, I'll just start a new project so that you can see how to set up these line weights and line patterns and apply them as I've said. So I'll just go to file and I'll go to new and click on project. And I just want to pick, this is just a default template. I just want to pick, I want to go to a metric. I'm a metric guide. So metric architectural template. Again, as I've said, the field doesn't matter because line weights, line patterns, it's everywhere. It's applicable in any field. So I'll just pick architectural for just demonstration purpose. Just click on it, click OK. And I'm going to start a new project, as you can see from here. Now, I'll start with the lines. If I just want to create some lines here, I can just go to annotate, go to detail line, just click there and you see that you have the lines there. These are just 2D lines, and by default, these are the lines that you're going to have in any template. So let me just pick at random, click the first point, second point, right click, cancel, then go there, maybe pick the last line. Again, it's up to you, the line that you want to create. I'll just cancel, just click on modify to cancel. You see that I have the 2 lines there. If I want to turn on the thick lines to see, how thick the line is, you can even see that to tell you that this one is thicker than the other one. Okay. Now, if I go back to annotate detail line and click there, you are able to create a line. We'll start with the line before we go to the model element. These are just 2D lines, just like in AutoCAD. You see that we have these by default. Now, I want to show you first of all how you can create your own line styles where you are able to apply the line weights and the line patterns. So I'll close this one, just escape by clicking on modify, select by dragging the left mouse button and just click on delete. Then let me show you where you can create your line type so that if you go to detail line, those lines will appear here. So what you need to do is to just go to manage, then click on additional settings. You have the line styles, line weights, and line patterns. So I'll click on line styles. You see that we have all the line styles that we found there by default. If I just click on the addition there to expand it, you see that these are the lines that I have, and all of them that appear there are right here by default. So to create your own line that you want to use in your project, maybe you are following your office standards or the region where I just click on new, and I just want to create about 7 lines. The first one, I'll call it line 1, then click on OK. Here, just make sure this line, just click on OK. See that we have it there. We'll come to these ones later. Just click another one. I just want to have about 7. So this is line 2. Then this is line 3. Then continue just like that. Then line 5, new line 6. Then the last one, I'll just go up to line 7. I think these are enough for demonstration purpose. I'll click on OK, and you see that we have all those lines. Now, under the projection, line projection, these numbers that we're seeing here are representing a particular thickness, okay, or the weight of the line, which we are going to see later on. If I just click the first one, you know, these numbers, they start from 1 up to 16, 16 being the line which is very thick, okay? So for the first line, I'll just pick 1. Then the second one, I just want you to see the difference. Second one, 2, just by the numbering the way it is. So 4, number 4, then you are going to see the differences in terms of the thicknesses so that you can start now relating. This is 6. Oh, sorry, I have to pick number 6. Then number 7, I'll go to up to 7 because I just want to end here. So these, as I've said, are representing the thickness or the weight for the lines. Then these are just the colors. Of course, the first one, I'll leave it at black. You can pick any colors that you want. I'll pick magenta, click on OK. Then this one, black, I'll just be jumping there. Again, it's entirely up to you. Pick red, click on OK. Then I'll come to this one, I'll pick blue, click OK. And the last one will just remain as black. So that is for the color. The line pattern, once again, by default, you have a number of patterns. You see that we have center, dash, dash dot. All these are the lines which are there. Again, I'll show on how you can create your own type there. And it will appear here once you come back here. You are able to pick that line and apply it to the line that you want to use. So I'll just pick the first one as solid. The second one, let me pick center. Then the third one, I'll just pick at random. I'll just pick different ones so that you can just appreciate what we're trying to do here. Maybe the last one will remain as solid. This one I can pick maybe this one, double dash. Then this one will remain as solid. So these are the lines that we've created. We have picked the line patterns, the color, and the line weights being represented by these numbers. Then I'll click on apply and click on OK. So I'll go to annotate detail line. Okay, if I click on annotate detail line, I'm not able to. Let me just cancel by clicking on modify. Click on detail line. Okay, then under the line style here, you can see that the lines that we created are right here. Just click on the line, and I just want to create a number of them in that order from 1 up to 7. So I'll just pick them just like that. As you can see, the colors, the styles, this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you create, these lines. To some, it may be not new, you know how to do this, but to others, I'm sure they'll appreciate that they know now how to do this. But even for those who know how to create later on, watch up to the end until you see how to apply some of these. You might learn 1 or 2 few tips. So let me just finish up to the end, 6 up to 7. Okay, then this is the last one. As you can see, all the lines are there. And let me just move these lines closer to each other, selecting, then hold the left mouse, and I want this one to be there. Then just select like that, hold the left mouse so that these lines are closer, holding the left mouse just like that. And I can select that one, drag it, select this line, and drag it closer there, select this one, and drag it up to there. Then just zoom in, you can see that we have those lines, and these are the lines that we created. But now I want to show you where you can pick what those numbers are representing, and where you can create now these line types. Okay, now from here, if I want, I can even change to 1 to 200 the scale. You can see that once you start changing the scale, the appearance will differ a bit. If I go on to 100, you can see what happens. If I go on to 200, you see. So once we go to those numbers, you see why it's changing like this, because at a different scale, maybe you find that the line weight is different. So if I just go to manage and click on additional settings, we've dealt with the line styles. Now the line weights and the line pattern are feeding into the line styles. If I click there, just expand, you see that we have the line weights. These are the numbers being represented by the numbers, and we have the line styles by the line pattern. So let me just close this one, go back there, additional settings, and now go to the line weights, as you can see from here. So this is what we have. Now, under the line weights, we have the model line weights, perspective line weights, and annotation. If I go to model line weight, if the line weight is under the category model line weights, it says model line weights control line weights for objects like walls and windows in orthographic views. They depend on view scale. Remember, once I start changing the scale, that these are changing, and what is happening is that, for example, this line number 7 at a scale of 1 to 10 is 2 millimeters. It keeps on changing like that, and you can type these numbers and insert the line weight that you want to use. So you see that at 1 to 200 is 0.7, but at a different scale it will appear different, because at that particular scale the weight is quite different, and this is applicable under the model line weight. That is for these objects, model line weights, like for objects like walls, windows, and that is in the orthographic views. This one is going to apply. So if you want to add maybe a line, maybe a scale, a different scale, just click on add, then just select there. If I want to pick 1 to maybe to 1000, click on apply. Okay, then if I move there, you see that I have added the scale, and some line weights will be added by default. You can go ahead if you just want to change it, maybe for this one. Okay, maybe here you just want to have 1, you can just type 1 millimeters there, add the millimeter, then just click anywhere else. You see that that scale will be added, and we have the scale and the actual line weight. So that is under model line weights. Then perspective line weights, the difference with this one is that we don't have different scales. We just have at that particular, the line weight for number 7, that number is just represented by just one thickness, which is number 1 in this case. You can see from there, for each number we have that one, and it will not change because it will just pick that number at any scale. That is within the perspective views, as you can see from here. So if you go to a perspective view, maybe you don't like the line for a particular line or a model element, if it's a perspective view, go to this number, come here and change it until you get the desired result. Okay, then if I go to annotation line weights, again for objects maybe like sections, maybe dimensions, those which are annotative in nature, again even this one, just check for that particular annotative element, check the number, then come here and check, okay, this is the scale. If maybe you don't like the way it's coming out once you print, just tweak it here, change it, print, and see how it comes out. Now, I have to mention that you not be changing these all the time. No, you just do it once, print one drawing, and if the lines are perfect, then save it in your template and you use it forever. Okay, so this is where you set your line weights, and you can see that these numbers, the way we define them, if I just go back there, click on line styles, then click there, you see that we have all these numbers here. They are being represented by those line weights. So just come there, additional settings, line weights, and configure them the way you want them to be. Okay, so that's it. If I just go to the next one, additional settings, line patterns again, remember these are the ones by default. You are able to set your line patterns right here by just clicking on new. Now, if I just click on this one, then click on edit, you can see how these are configured, these line, patterns. This is how you can create. So we have a dash, we have a space, a dash, a space. You see that if I read here, a line pattern is made up of dashes, dots, and spaces. So only 3 things: dashes, dots, and spaces. So I'll just cancel. You can see that again, if I go there, you can now just specify the value here for that particular, if it's a dash, a dot, a space, you are able to configure any kind of a line type for any region, for any office standard. So if I just click on new, I'll just call it, what should I call it? Maybe let me go back here. We have this one. Okay, I'll just click on new. Then the type here, I'll start with a dash. Then maybe the value, let me just say 7. I was supposed to add millimeters. I'm not sure. I'll check it. Let me just cancel there. Click on edit. Oh yeah, have to add millimeters. Go back to new. The first one, I'll start with the dash. Let me say 7 millimeters. Then the next one, I'll say maybe space. Let me say maybe 10, maybe millimeters. You can go back there. So it's just dash dot space. So this one I can't put a space because I've just used it. So if I want the space to be big, I just need to change here. So then I can use, we have a dot now. I can add a dot if I want. Maybe let me say 5 millimeters. You see that the dot will not appear here. I think, oh, sorry, let me have to add. Do I have to add maybe 5 millimeters? For a dot, I don't think you have to do this. Anyway, let me try. Okay, then the dot segment should not have an oh, sorry, for the dot don't have to add anything because the dot is a dot, of course. Then space you can add, you can see maybe 10 millimeters. So I'm just creating a, a line at random, but the configuration for your lines in your office and according to your standard. I just want to show that you can create such a line. So if I'm done, and before I do that, add the name here. I'll just put DS for my initials, or SK for Skillmax Academy, SA for Skillmax Academy, the name of this channel. Just put it there and click on OK. You see that is the line you have created. Just click on OK. You have it there. So if I go to manage, go to additional settings, line there, expand it there, go back here. Let me just change this one to that particular line. You say that you're going to find it right there. SA, you can pick it, apply it, click OK, and you see that the line is right there. This is the one we created. So this is how you create such kind of line styles. Now I just explained on these lines. Let me add a wall here, because for lines that's what we are going to do. You can see if I click on there, I can switch it to a different line if I want. As you can see from here, this is the same one which is here. I pick that one. I can do that. Now how about if I'm dealing with the model? These are just lines. How do we play around with, like, example walls, columns and other things, and how do we change these line styles, and where does it pick it from? Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just go to architecture, go to wall. I'll just demonstrate on a wall. The principle is the same. Now if I click on architectural, let me just pick a wall maybe at the height of 2 meters, just like that. And I just want to pick a generic wall there, and I'll click on edit, maybe change the thickness deliberately to 400, click on OK, apply OK, and I just want to have a wall from there up to there. I just want you see the difference on how you apply the actual line weights to model elements, because these are just lines. The lines we are done with that, but the numbering in terms of those numbers representing the line weights and the line styles is still the same. It's just the place where you are going to change the line weights. That's the only thing which differs. So we have the wall there. Let me maybe just try to add a window there. Let me have a window, maybe 2 windows there, just like that. So we have this one. If I just select on this one, it's quite different. Where do we change the thicknesses? If I just activate on and off, you see that the lines are quite thin. So we want to know what is the weight for the lines for this wall. So what you need to do by default is picking this from the object styles. We have two things. We have visibility graphics and object styles. Now, visibility graphics simply means that if you go to the visibility graphics, you change the line weights for this particular wall, it will just affect this particular view. If I go to the object styles, in any view, if I just open this one in any view, the line weights will be picked from the object styles and should be displayed to be shown in all the views. But if you just want to affect this particular view, you use the visibility graphics. Now I can go to view. You see that I have the visibility graphics right there, and click there. Here now, let this not intimidate you if you are a beginner in Revit. This is simple. Remember, we looked at model categories, annotation categories, so we're just considering these two. Now, since this one is a model category, okay, remember for lines, just use what I showed you, but when it comes to model elements and also like dimensions, sections, and the like, come here for model categories like a wall. This is what we have. So if I just find the wall, I just go to maybe W so that I jump straight to the wall. We have the wall here. We have the projection surface. Just drag it here. We have the projection surface and the cut. So in section, this is what we are going to change. Then on the surface, if you're not cutting a section, we have the line, you change it from here. So if I just click there, I can go to the patterns you can see the one I created is right here, and you can pick it without a problem. Here you can even change the color. Now again, if I click on the words, you see that those are the same lines, and the way you configured in that box, they're being represented by these numbers. Those line weights, you can pick them from just these numbers, is still the same thing. Okay, it's only that we are dealing with these model elements, so you have to approach it in a different way and access all those line weights and line patterns. So we have the projection. Okay, if you're not cutting that line, that object, and also the cut patterns. Again, if I click there, you see that it's still the same thing. Now, if I change it from visibility graph from the visibility graphics, means that I'm just affecting this view. But what is being affected by this is from the object styles. If I just go to object styles right here, these are global settings. These ones under the visibility graphics are just affect this view, but this one is global. Any view that will open, gets these settings from here. So this is the one I'm going to use. If I click there, I go to maybe wall. This is the wall. You can see that the line weight is just picking one. Let me deliberately change this one to number 7. Okay, then click on apply. Okay, okay. You can see that it has changed, as you can see from here. Let me just change this one to find level of detail. Then I'm able to change it from here. What have I changed? Let me go to, what did I change? Oh, the word is in section. Okay, that's the reason. So I'll go back to view once again. Then I think I'm supposed to go to object style by going to manage. I don't have to go to visibility graphics. So go to manage object styles, direct to object styles. Then you see I changed from object styles from model objects, then go to wall. What I changed is the projection because it's in section. So let me just bring back the number 1 the way it was. Then I'll go to cut. To cut, I think 7 is too much. Let me try to use maybe number 4 for the cut pattern, because the way we are cutting it, click on apply. You can see it even changes in the background. Okay, as you can see, so it has changed. Let me deliberately use number 6 so that you see that it's affecting this wall. So VG, oh sorry, not VG, go to manage object styles. Then let me go to wall right here. Then I think it's number 3. Is it number 3 or it's number 6? Let me pick that one so that you can even see the color. Apply. Okay, the cut pattern number 6, this is the one. Oh, again, this is just number 6, but the color, the actual color, you have to pick it. It's just picking the thickness from here, but the color you have to change. So you can change the color from here. Okay, let me pick the same color, blue. Click OK. Now this is in cut, in section. Of course, the all is in section. Apply OK. You can see that it's able to change like that. So the whole point is that what I'm trying to explain to you is that for model elements, you have to go to the object style or the visibility graphics. You are able to change to pick those numbers which are coming from the view there. Is it manage additional settings? You see we have line weights. These are the numbers being picked. These are the same numbers that you can pick from here for just lines. And also if I go to object styles, these are the same numbers which are here both in the projection and the cut pattern. But here you can now just change independent the colors. And again, the line pattern, let me go to walls right here. You see that we have the pattern. Again, the patterns that I defined, I've already explained on this. If I use the one I just created, it's still the same thing. It will appear here. Apply OK. This is not applicable because I think the spacing was too much, so it will not appear here, but that's how you do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you change your line weights, your line patterns, the line thicknesses, save it within your template, and you are going to be producing drawings which are according to your standard.